through Solid State Records. Now, of course, this is the band's third album, and I feel like August Burns Red takes another step in the right direction, with sort of like great melodic material, more like off-time breakdowns and flawless drumming. And the execution and deliverance is what the album counts, and the real passion is behind the music that they create, which seeps through. And of course, like going back to like their debut album, Thrill Seeker, which was good but not like perfect, has some good, few awesome tracks and some duds, but still a solid metalcore album. But then we go into their previous album, Messengers, which in my opinion is still their best album. And they pretty much blew the roof in brutality, and it was also the first album they had a lineup change with Jake Lors on vocals and Dustin Davidson on bass, and that's pretty much, and they still pretty much have the same lineup to this day, a little over 13, 14 years later, which is kind of crazy. And see, and I feel like they pretty much raised the bar and grew individually as a unit. And then Constellations, I feel like this is sort of like the make and break for the band. It shows me that they matured a little bit, and it just blows my mind. Production wise, it's great. It produced and mixed by one of the best metal producers and mixers ever, Jason Sukoff. And the vocal work, I feel like Jake's vocals had improved a bit. The guitar work, I mean, J.B. Brubaker can shred and do no wrong, and Brent Rambler can just handle the riffing a bit. The bass playing, I feel like could be a little bit audible from Dustin Davidson. In my opinion, I feel like he's one of the best metalcore songwriters, because the dude can not only play bass, but I think he also can play guitar, he can play drums, and he can do some sick like higher screams, sort of like higher screams than Jake does. And he actually does some clean vocals, but not on this album, but another stuff. But yeah, without further ado, let's dive into this album track by track. Now, starting off the album is the song 30 and 7, which is a solid opener with a crushing first breakdown, down with Jake screaming, "Your shame will remain," in 3 like different pitches, ripping the headphones apart with great lyrics. And this is like a real like straight to the, just a straight point song which like the drumming just drives the song with the epic feels and just like blast beats galore. Existence with amazing lyrics in this that makes the listener really think and question themselves, and like a crushing breakdown near like the 50-second mark with Jake Roars like, "Don't excuse yourself from life today on the pretense of your past." Again, a powerful climax with a sense of uplifting resurgence. Ocean of Apathy, which is a song which has some great influence from one of their influence bands, Between the Buried and Me, and they toured together a few times. Has a great melodic opening that builds into a beautiful brutal breakdown that transcends into a melodic midsection, and the surprise lies in like the middle with the jazz section. And don't be scared, it sticks after a few listens and is only momentary, because that they build up to another epic outro with excellent melody and solid drumming. And Whitewashed, which is a great track with an awesome building intro with a nice blend of bouncing drum beats and off-time grooves, and an awesome middle section as well with great lyrics and brutal vocals that make for a wicked song in the stereo. Next on the album is called Mariana's Trench, which almost like you could tell it definitely has like a little bit of a Killswitch Engage vibe to it, which was written all over the song, the intro and the end breakdown especially. But the intro builds into an ear-shattering scream and pounding drum beat with rapid-fire guitars that really inject speed into the song, and a great off-time breakdown at the end with the China by the great Matt Greiner. And it's also and just by the rapid-fire blast beats that he does in the middle of the song, which is indescribable. The Escape Artist is a very brutal song, harsh lyrics about judgment of others based on religion and believing what you want to believe. And the song features like a piano outro, which is quite effective also. Again, will take like a bit of getting used to. And then we get into, in my opinion, the highlight of the album, Indonesia, which is, the song is about a guy who crashed a plane into a mountain in Indonesia and was stranded to die, which is a very important song to the band. And it definitely shows. It's passionate, full passionate, especially when Jake rips out the scream of "David, rest in peace" after the middle with clean vocals. Yes, clean vocals. It actually has a guest appearance from Tommy Rogers from Between the Buried and Me. I mean, it's just soothing and unbelievably satisfying. A beautiful middle section with which Tommy was featured, and again an epic outro and great lyrics, great song. Next song in here is Paradox, which is one of the weaker tracks in the album, but the melodies are strong and the brutal parts are brutal. Just a little bit repetitive, but the lyrics ring true. Meridian, which kind of slows the album down. The song is too long. I also feels like it's a bit forced, but some parts are beautiful. Like the end part is rubbish with like the open breakdown chords after the melody with just a brutal scream from Jake though. It's just brutal. Rationalist, which injects all the speed straight back into the album, which Matt Greiner starts with a beast feel and puts all the aggression back in the album. It's a short but brutal song. Again, like the lyrics are very honest and amazing, and although contradictory, and the end breakdown is just crushing. Meddler, which is an amazing track, so much melody. Again, what can I say? Just like the starting lyrics are so relatable and true. The guitars are melodic in a great middle section with the solo, and the breakdown around the 1 minute mark where Matt builds up by rolling around his toms and then smashing in his try to break down his mountain smashing, just wicked. In the end delivers like a positive uplifting message with like a stunning climax. And then the album closes with the song Crusades, which takes 2 listens to stick, but what a way to end the album. And the master dynamics on this track, like the first 2 minutes are just a bombardment of breakdowns and fast pulse sounding riffs with like a rip soaring screams with little shadow windows. Absolutely phenomenal track, and the lyrics are very sensational, very religious, but again, interpret them how you want, and everyone can relate to them. There's like a shattering, smashing breakdown where Jake yells "Descend" and Matt Greiner unleashes a carnage, accompanied by JB and Brent's guitar playing. An amazing, epic, uplifting outro, and the great melodies and groundbreaking and some passionate screamings. Now, all in all, Constellations just blew me away. It could be kind of a little bit generic, just very slightly, but I feel like August Burns Red just pulls it off, and it sticks. Like, every song is amazing in its own way. Great, like, kind of like, you could tell with this album, it's kind of like a little bit of experimenting, especially with guitar solos, even though they don't suit a tie and feel forced, but it's just some very inventive breakdowns in there. So yeah, if I were to give this album a score, I'm going to give Constellations by August Burns Red a 9 out of 10. So yeah, that's my view of the album, guys. Let me know in the comments what you guys think about it. And if anybody's going to see this album played live in about 2 weeks on August 2nd in Atlanta, Georgia at the Tabernacle, I will be there. I got VIP to meet them. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. See you all in the next video. And as always, keep it metal.